Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching today. Today, I'm excited to finally share this build with you that I did on the entire floating Tangled island. So as soon as I saw this island that we got, I really wanted to try to build a big jungle cruise. I had recently gotten this jungle cruise boat house and the boats, and I just really love these boats, except for they do all these items take up a lot of space. So when we got this island, I really wanted to see how big of a river and how many boats I could place here, because it was a nice big layout for this. So I started out by placing some of the big houses I wanted to use, and I put down one of the river pieces with a boat in it, and I realized it would be nice if I could incorporate the natural water area here. So the bigger part of the natural water here with the big waterfall, I wanted to make it part of the river so that the boats also drive through there and have it one continuous like river. So once I placed that down, I realized I wouldn't be able to walk around the entire river. So I wanted to make sure I had a walking path that went from like one side all the way to the other, to where I could still view everything. I didn't want to make like a bridge or anything, because I wanted to keep the river very realistic, where the boats would just mostly the boats would just be going through and there wouldn't be any obstructions in the way. So I started placing out a bunch of the big tiles just to make sure that I would be able to put boats all the way around and still have a big enough central like little jungle island in the center of the river. And so after I realized it looks like I'm gonna be able to create what I kind of am hoping to, I wanted to put a little outdoor space for this enchanted tiki room. So I started pulling out some of my touch of magic rugs, and I had this a beautiful rug that I got from the Decorista, another amazing content creator. And so she let me use her design, and I just tweaked a couple of the colors to pair it with one of my wooden rugs. And I just really love how these two go together. It turns out so well. So I really like the look of this. I'm so happy to have this rug. I'll definitely link Decorista's info in the description. Definitely check her out if you haven't. She's amazing with all of her designs and videos and fun streams and everything. So after I just wanted to kind of put some of the base of this area down, just so that I had an idea of my spacing, because I'm trying to figure out, where I'm gonna build my river to. So I just kind of put down a base to this, added some furniture just to make sure it was going to be something I like the look of, and then I'll just like continue on and come back to decorating this later. I did put some of these touch of magic couches that I've used in other tiki builds of mine and stuff. And then I continued to build the path out all the way to the other edge of the river, just to make sure that I know where I give myself a border for building out the rest of the ginormous river. So I did decide to leave this little space area of land right here by the waterfall view, kind of at the intersection of this natural river area, so that maybe I could put a little picnic spot there or something that you could be dropped off by the boats or something, to have a nice little lunch area with a beautiful waterfall view. So I just started building a little bit of a border there, putting some foliage and a little dock and in that area. I think it's nice also because of the like rocks you have here. I couldn't really just fill it with water, so I do like how this turned out. I start kind of just like filling that in. What's nice about working on the floating island is you don't have to worry about item count, which using the river pieces, you can really get high up on item count. So I didn't have to worry about trying to use only big pieces. I didn't really care about the money it was going to cost me to buy a bunch of tiny small tiles and edge pieces, because I can get money pretty easily with all my pumpkin farming and stuff. So I didn't really worry about that, and I just you know, kept building it out to where I thought it would look realistic for me. So I wanted this area to look like one side of the river. You drive, you know, into this waterfall area, and then the boats come back to the other side. So I'm trying to define the edge of this side of the river. I kind of build it really close to the walking path and stuff. I do end up shortening this like outdoor bar area a little bit to give myself more room for foliage and trees and things like that. So I'll do that a little bit later. So I'm just gonna keep building out the whole border of my river. This is a long process. It's a very big river, but some people do like for me to leave all of this process in the video. Obviously you can always speed up, slow down, or skip parts in you know, in YouTube videos. So I am going to show every piece of me building out this river edge. So if you don't want to watch it, obviously, I mean, you can always skip through it. I am just kind of moving some of the water tiles around to give myself an idea. These aren't going to stay here. I'm just trying to kind of see where, make sure that if I built the river in this way, that I'd be able to put enough stuff in the center and things like that. So then I pulled out the this waterfall piece and realized that would be really good to have like on the outside as a viewpoint that you would see while you're, you know, riding through on these boats. So I put a couple of those out. I also like this Lion King, or I think it's Lion King, waterfall. So I placed that over here. I like these waterfalls also because they go really well into the river kit, but I did end up removing those later. I've used them in other similar builds though, so I think they are nice. It's just this one later, I just added more foliage and stuff. I pulled out the Trader Sam's stall, of course, which is, you know, in Disney, at least in Disneyland, the Tiki Room is right by the Jungle Cruise, and they have the Trader Sam's stall and all that stuff. I would do a little Dole Whip stand area here, but that didn't didn't quite happen. I did just, you know, do coffee. That's mainly what I want. So I'm just gonna build out, just once I kind of have an idea of what I could fit and make sure that I could, you know, have boats around, I just keep building out the river edge. I did put this rainbow waterfall piece here, but I do later adjust it. So I'm going to put it at a diagonal, which, because I was doing another build in my valley and I realized I could put a big blue rug under, when like that, I could use these pieces at a diagonal and cover up the like empty spaces with a blue rug. So I end up doing that here. And so I skipped a little bit of that part because I'm just gonna come and redo that area. So I skipped what is gonna be removed, and we'll come back and edit that part later. Of course, I get a ton of rain. I do try my best to not do a lot in the rain because it looks so muted. The colors look terrible. I know it's not good for filming, but sometimes I just like can't help it because it's just, there's so much rain. So I'm just gonna keep building out the edge of this river and then filling it in and then building out the edge on the inside of the river. So I'll just go ahead and let you enjoy that whole part of the build. Well, as you can see, the river is finally done. It was very big, took mass amounts of pieces, would never have made it into the valley. But I really, really like how it turned out. And so now I'm just going to obviously adjust some of my roads and all my decor on the outside. So I had to delete this piece of road that I had put before I put the waterfall piece, and then I wanted to add some trees and stuff over there. I did want to make a little walking path, if possible, behind the waterfall so that I could walk over to that area and to look out at the views from there. So I'm going to start placing a bunch of trees and foliage and trying to fill up the background, and then I'll also adjust some of the walking paths so that I can get where I want to go or shape it in the way that I want to. So I do add a bunch of critter homes and critters, and I wanted to put them on the island, but then it was like, if I left enough space for you to see the animals on the island, it just looked too open. So I ended up putting them there, but you can't really see them. Now and then you can see the birds that I put in them fly out, but some of the houses I put around the island. I might think about how to better place those later because I do like seeing a lot of the critters around, and they don't really make sense in the center there with me not giving them any space to actually get out of the house. But I'm just gonna keep filling it up. I mean, there's a few things I tried, like maybe putting a tent in this island or all kinds of different things, different seating, and I just in the end decided to kind of fill it up with foliage, but also like not too dense of trees and stuff because I do like seeing some of the views where you can see parts of it like in between from the other side of the river. And as you can see, behind these houses, some of them that are in the corner, the layout is kind of weird on these islands. Like the edge of where you can actually like place items seems very close to what the actual edge of the island is. But anyways, so I'm just filling up some of those like empty areas so that when I look through it, I don't see too many empty spots. And then here's where I decide to move this rainbow waterfall on the diagonal because I like it better that way. From when I'm walking down the pathways, it makes for better views. So that's where I'm going to adjust the side, and it's kind of good also because it brings the river a little closer to make the center island bigger. So I'm just gonna adjust all the edge to make this fit at this diagonal. And I'll adjust the pathing and everything as well. So I did want to have some nice like trees and stuff on this little land area between the like tiki bar area and the river, but I did also not want to block any of like the waterfall views and stuff. So I placed a few things down and then I back out and walk around as my avatar and see like kind of what I like to get the it's all it's always a struggle to decide between the trees or foliage and the views that of not blocking the views. And then I pulled out this cocoa stage, which I thought was really cute and fun to put in this tiki bar area outside to have a little outdoor band. So I just put a few of those items, and you can see that I had surrounded the bar with this like ancient, I think it's like ancient fencing. I think it goes really well with that bar, or whatever tiki area. And I put a bunch of like tiki torches and stuff around. And now I'm trying out these loungers over here, but I do end up switching that out. And I'm just gonna keep adding a bunch of foliage and trees and fill everything out around that I can. I do want to leave, like, I do try to put as much color as I can. There's not as much colorful foliage, that small footprint, but I do get some flowers and stuff in there and try to get, in the end, some added color around. So I'm just gonna jump all over the place. I'm just copying over the same like jungle trees and foliage and things that I've been using around the island. And here is the fully completed island. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I love traveling here to this well spot and seeing this beautiful scene when I arrive. I really do love walking through here. I really hope that you enjoyed this build. I know it was very long, it's very big, but it gives me so many nice views and I just really like walking through here. So I was able to squeeze a little path back here, put some nice little loungers so I could look around all the nice views. I love seeing the tiki room from here. I mean, that building is so huge, you can see it from anywhere. I do wish it had like more lights on the top of it, like just more lighting at night, but it's still very grand, awesome looking house skin. And you can see, I think that I just love these boats and the river and seeing them from everywhere. So I'm so glad I could put so many boats in here because I just think they're so cool. And then as you can see, I have put the little Bayou cottage as like the Trader Sam's style kind of owner's house or something. I love putting the Bayou cottage with the jungle house. I just think it's really fitting. I love the colors on it. I've put it with even this Sam style a few times. I added a little coffee stand and sodas you could get there, and there's little seating and benches around by the waterfalls and different scenic viewpoints, and this little pond they have, the little boat and everything, and little seating so they can watch out for their stall here. And then over at the Jungle Cruise boat, I just put like a fishing rack because I imagine they fish here, and then some bikes that maybe you could rent or just borrow, because I think it would be such a nice place to ride bikes around this whole trail, by this river and everything. Such a beautiful place. I would have loved to visit. I mean, I call it a jungle cruise and stuff, but obviously there ain't no jungle animals here. It's just a nice river area, I guess. I couldn't get no lions in here or nothing. I did add a little yard for this jungle cruise house, which has, crafting, barbecuing, critters, all these cool things by their little yard area and their little pond area. I mean, there's beautiful views all around here with all the waterfalls and the tiki room and everything. Obviously, I just think there's beautiful views everywhere here. I would have probably used more of these firefly lanterns, but they have yet to fix them and they won't turn on themselves, but maybe someday. So I use a lot of tiki torches around because they will turn on at night. So I'll walk through all this area as you can see it in the day. And then I'll walk back the other way through at sunset because it's a nice, beautiful, magical look at sunset and night also. So I really hope that you enjoy it. Well, thank you so much for watching today. I know it was a long one, so I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really love how this turned out. I think you could use bits of it in other biomes. I even built a smaller scale of this in another biome that you might see at some point. So anyways, but I do think this is a beautiful spot for it. It's a nice little place to come visit if you're not using your Tangled Island for anything else. But thank you again for watching, and if you did like it, please put a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't, and have the most wonderful rest of your day.